Destination Death by Gansen John Welch. We are born but to die, yet so few ask the reasons why. Were it not for Amida and Shakyamuni, we would never be free from birth and death that could come with our very next breath. We should be stricken with terror at the almost inconceivable horror of our situation and fearing the future, given the suffering we will inevitably endure, entirely due to our evil karma. And if we are bereft of Amida Dharma, our plight in this age of Mappo would be hopeless if we do not go for refuge to Amida and his supreme Dharma. Every day we are reminded of our faults, flaws, and failings, and our inability to attain the only thing that will bring relief from our endless grief, pain, and suffering. We are forced by experience to recognize the truth of the words of the wise, who compassionately, wisely, as well as urgently instruct and teach us to accept Amida's inconceivably profound and perfect primal vow. So please accept Amida's gift of shinjin now as the only means and source of salvation for all sentient beings in every situation, in all the many realms of suffering in samsara. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you, Amida Buddha. Homage to Amida Buddha. I take refuge in Amida Buddha. The above verses were inspired by the following passage from pages 179 to 182 in the important and excellent book, The Four Profound Thoughts Which Turn the Mind Towards Amida Dharma, by Reverend Josho, Adrian, Cirlea. Quote, concluding thoughts on the suffering of samsaric existence. As we have seen in the description of the six realms, there is absolutely no place in samsara without suffering. Everything is a cause for suffering. Everything is multiplying suffering. And everything, even the intoxicating pleasures of the gods, contain the seeds of suffering. Quote, beings in hell suffer from hellfire. Pretas suffer from hunger and thirst. Animals suffer from being eaten by each other. Humans suffer from having a short life. Asuras suffer from wars and quarrels. And the gods suffer from their own mindlessness. In samsara, there is never a pinpoint of happiness. End quote. Some say that life in the gods' realm is more desirable because of the immense pleasure we can find there. However, I would like to ask you, what if somebody offers you the most intense party with the best drinks, women or men, on a luxurious yacht for 3 days, on the condition that after the party you will be burnt to death? Would you accept the deal? Would the pain you'll suffer by being burnt to death be worth the sweet and transient pleasure of 3 nights? This is similar to the various distractions of the realms of the gods. When their time comes, gods themselves suffer intensely, as I have already described above in the section dedicated to them. If one reaches the highest point of the wheel of samsara, one will surely fall from there to the lower part, after spending one's karmic merits in intoxicating pleasures. Just like a rich guy enters a casino with the attitude of a great lord, and is treated well by everybody. If he loses all his wealth at gambling, he will be thrown away like a beggar at the end of the program. There is a significant story of the monk Nanda, who was very much attached to his wife, and had no aspiration to renounce the world. Seeing this, Shakyamuni Buddha miraculously took him to a mountain, where he showed him a one-eyed monkey. He asked him, tell me, Nanda, who do you find more beautiful, this monkey or your wife? Nanda replied immediately, my wife, of course. Then the Buddha transported him to the realms of the gods, where he showed him many beautiful mansions, where each god lived together with his assembly of young goddesses, and enjoyed many pleasures and abundance. Then he took him to a palace where there were many goddesses, but no god. When Nanda asked why, a goddess answered, there is a person in the human world, a disciple of the Buddha whose name is Nanda, and who practices the way. The karma he thus accumulates will make him be reborn in this palace, where we will serve him faithfully. Nanda was very joyful, and when asked by the Buddha who he now thinks is more beautiful, his wife or the goddesses, he answered without any hesitation, the goddesses are far more beautiful. My wife cannot even compare herself with them. Then, when he returned to the human world, Nanda practiced the way even more seriously, so that he would not lose the chance to be reborn with the beautiful goddesses. After some time, the Buddha asked him if he wants to go with him to visit the hells. Nanda agreed, and he was transported there by the Buddha's miraculous power. While visiting the various hells and seeing the horror and was born there, he came across an empty pot filled with blazing fire and a number of hell's tormentors around it. When he asked, "Why is the pot empty?" a hell tormentor answered, "We are waiting for a person called Nanda, who is now practicing the way in the human realm in order to be born among the gods. After he enjoys many hundreds of years in that celestial place, his merits will run out, and he will be reborn here." This terrified Nanda so much that he pondered more deeply on the characteristics of samsara. Then, after realizing that there is no sense to aspire for a happiness that ends in the flames of hells, he awoke the aspiration to escape from all samsaric existence. We should really take to heart the story of Nanda and contemplate deeply the nature of samsara. Even if we did not see with our own eyes the lower or higher realms, a picture or the many descriptions made by Shakyamuni Buddha and the masters of various lineages should be enough to scare the hell out of us and make us wish to escape from it. Thus, let us never forget that in samsara, 1, there is no certainty. 2, we can never find satisfaction. 3, we are born and we die repeatedly, changing bodies after bodies ad infinitum. 4, on the wheel of samsara, we will always go down after we go high. And 5, we have no true companions. All samsaric beings meet with these 5 general types of suffering. End quote. Namo Amida Butsu.